Hello.
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 Just sorting shit out.
Hello.
Hello.
Just sorting shit out. Just sorting shit out. Hi, mate. Hi, mate.
Hello, mate.
Hello, mate. That's a bit too much, isn't it?
Oh, it's so blurry.
The blur background feature. I mean, you should be able to turn it down. That would be.
The thing is that there's people that use that think it looks amazing.
Look at my eyebrows. Look at my eyebrows.
Lovely eyebrows. Did you do them?
Hey.
We've done to your eyebrows.
Look at them.
You're doing it.
Yeah, I wouldn't fucking do my eyebrows. I barely fucking brush my hair, Ben. I'm not gonna get fucking fake eyebrows put on, am I?
That is true. Anyway, we're live, and JJ's got amazing eyebrows. What I want to be able to do, right, is to get the chat window up. But it doesn't seem to let me do that. Like, that we're live, but I can't see the chat.
I don't even really understand how you're doing it, but
I'm doing some kind of live stream.
View stream on. Oh, you can view the stream on YouTube, so
yeah.
Just turn it on and mute it.
Well, that's what I'm about to do.
I'll do it as well then. Shall I? My computer will probably explode. But...
Yeah, just give it a little mute. Mute. Right, home, subs, library. No.
Do you have to allow people to chat?
No, I think people can just chat away.
Mini player settings. Theater mode.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to not another conspiracy stream.
The chat's at the side. It says top chat.
Top chat.
Yeah.
Well, you can do this.
Live chat. You just turn it to live chat.
You can do the chat today then.
Okay.
You're in charge of the chat today. I'll look in Discord because someone's asked some questions already in Discord. Let's see what's happening.
I mean, I don't know how old these are. This is this stream, isn't it? So
yeah, it is the stream. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So KG Corp says we're in here, lads.
You're right. Are you? Your internet's crap now, though. You're doing that.
Doing what?
On the stream, it's gone a bit funny now.
Has it?
It's fine. Let me see if I can get in there. See what the chat's there.
Hang on.
How do I mute this shit? Oh, girl balls. I'm in here cooking my delightful lunch for the occasion. What are you having for lunch, girl balls?
Actually, let me move the chat up to the screen so I'm not looking down all the time.
I'm going to look down because that's the way I roll.
You fucker.
Dean's posted it, so we might get some Dean's fans coming in. I've been dying to ask what you guys make of the insanity of throwing in Aleister Crowley into Hellier, especially because of the connection to Pan, etc., which both makes me curious to how they'll run with it, and more curious as to how they probably misunderstand it. Well, you can see there's a thing with Crowley. Anything, conspiracy or magic or like otherworldly, will always link back to Aleister Crowley because he wrote so much shit about everything. That's pretty much why anything can link to Crowley. I think it's like the 6 degrees of Crowley when it comes to conspiracy. He even mentioned him in the 9/11 podcast.
Yeah, I mean, he was crazy as fuck, wasn't he? But I mean, I guess at the time he was the only kind of crazy that was going. Whereas in now everyone wants to be crazy, don't they? Everyone's like, "Oh God, I'm so crazy." Whereas in Alistair Crowley he was just a fucking nutter.
Him and Madame Helena Blavatsky was no one, wasn't she?
You're a bit quiet, Ben. It's probably because I'm just really loud.
How about now?
That is really loud. Yeah, that's really, really loud. But then again, I don't know how loud I am because I don't have a feedback loop.
How does this sound? Does it sound a bit more of a level?
I will wait for a response, but yes, we're on a little bit of a delay. So
I boosted it a little bit, and we've paused.
I've entered a Zack Snyder film because of my color tone.
You love Zach. You like? Oh, I thought you said Zach Braff for some reason.
No, was he the guy who was in ER?
No.
Was he the guy who was in Scrubs?
Yeah.
So apparently you sound better. It's almost written like better. I don't know if
I'll go up another bit.
Yeah. I'm really close to my microphone, so perfect. Yeah, much better. Dean has replied much better.
Oh, Dean's listening. Okay.
Dean's listening. Or maybe Dean's just chatting.
He's chatting. He's just chatting in there.
So I'm on a juice diet for 3 days because I've drank too much over the weekend and the weekend before. So I'm doing this. So this is my 4th one today. Yeah. That toilet's going to be... currently, I feel really wired.
Yeah.
Really wired.
Ketosis, probably.
Nah, you don't get ketosis that quickly.
Well, you can do.
I doubt it. There we go. We're immediately getting cancelled because of paid promotions.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I paid for this out of my own money. It's full of nutrients.
Who is it? Juice Master.
Yeah, so Alistair Crowley, he's the magic man, isn't he? He's the Paul Daniels of esoteric. Esoteric, I think that's the right one.
He's very much like Paul Daniels.
Yeah. But he didn't have a blonde sidekick. He just had sex with loads of kids. Apparently.
Men. He was a power bottom, wasn't he?
You said he was a power bottom.
Episode of Not Another Conspiracy Podcast, we did talk about Alistair Crowley being a power bottom. And we laughed. Didn't we laugh?
So far on the YouTube, we have no questions, but we kind of have a question from Girl Balls. It says, "Can't wait to discuss which alien species the Pope is," which is fair.
The paedophile kind?
He's definitely not looking well, so he's kind of grey.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I saw, we haven't really done anything on this, but the big like seminar hall at the Vatican. Have you seen it? Looks like a big lizard face.
Really?
Yeah. Have you ever seen it? So
no. I
don't know what. Again, it's so fucking annoying because my memory's so rubbish. But it's almost like they show you. Yes. I'm sure it's Vatican City, and it's this big, like almost like orchestra, like room, like auditorium.
It's not. Was it St. Peter's Basilica? Is it?
Maybe, and it looks like a snake's face, like it's fucking mental.
I'm googling it now on my phone. Lizard, snake face, Vatican.
Dean said, "Who's the Debbie McGee?"
To
just children or men. Yeah, just another man.
Yeah, any man that was nearby at the time. Switched him
I've heard he was a bit of a master manipulator, so probably just a bit like Tiger King. He probably just gave people drugs and then just let him bum them with his own bum. He just moved his bum really, really fast, but he was the power bottom, so he just yeah. Wow, this is going wild. It's not. When I say going wild, from an angle, it does. Yeah. So Girl Balls is having a burger and some chili, proper Texan.
Is Texan. Is the burger? Is the chili in the burger, or is the chili to the side of the burger?
I mean, like he says, like a proper Texan. So
I would say I would say the. Well, then I would say that the chili's to the side, maybe in a bowl.
nah,
I'll be interested.
it's in the burger. I think if it's a Texan, it's in the burger.
I think to the side of the burger.
There's the conspiracy.
That is the conspiracy.
Yeah, so it's a shame we can't put up a separate share screen on this because
you can.
Oh,
Share screen at the bottom
of the YouTube thing.
If you click share screen on Zoom.
On Zoom, okay. Let me do some daddling. I've just got to clear the rest of my tabs. It's not my tabs. Oh shit. What's going on here? Right.
So you can do it. So you can now share.
Okay. I haven't even got Safari.
I would be interested to see what the other tabs are.
There is no other tabs, to be fair. I was just making a joke.
Will juicing make me? What will juicing do to my body?
Is that a question?
What would juicing?
All right. I thought that was a Discord question.
What would juicing do to your body, JJ? I've watched that juice cleanse Netflix film. And he loses a shit ton of weight, but he does it for like a year and a half.
Yeah, that's not going to happen in 3 days. I'm having a lot of inflammation problems with my joints, and I stayed with two good friends of mine this weekend, who they've told me about this TED Talks that basically somebody has found a really strong correlation between gut health and arthritis, but the doctors just don't really want to acknowledge it because they've got their own ideas on arthritis and it's not being studied. So she suggested doing a cleanse, like a juice cleanse for a few days, because I haven't had any issues with my ankles for a while now. And the weekend, I had a heavy weekend with Slam Dunk, and then I had a heavy few days at the weekend, and my ankle all of a sudden on Sunday was absolutely killing. So yeah, I've decided to do that. It's not for any dietary reasons, because I mean, like you said, 3 days isn't going to do anything. But
I've got arthritis in my thumbs, and yeah, if I stop drinking gluten, as soon as I like cut gluten, so beer mainly, beer and bread, it just goes. But as soon as I have a week on the old sherbets,
that will do it. Right, I'm going to share screen. So this is what I was referring to. It's called the Pope's Audience Hall. Where is it? So I'm going to share the screen with us on it.
Yeah.
Is that working? No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Right. So this guy.
Lovely desktop pattern you've got there.
Yeah. Can somebody tell I'm excited to go to Disney? If Joe Biden ever lets us out. Yeah. So I mean, it kind of does.
Kind of looks like a snake.
I mean, I don't even know what's going on here. I'm like a dad using a computer. What the fuck? What is this?
You're pure dad.
Pure dad. There you go. I don't even know how to zoom. How do you zoom in? Yeah. So I mean, it kind of does look like.
Zoom in? It does.
Hey, Joe. Hey, Joe. How do you do, Joe? Bearing in mind, for anybody who doesn't know, Joe's my real name. That's me doing an impression of my dad. Hey, Joe. How'd you get that thing on? I don't know, Dad, anymore because everything's moved past me. But yeah, this is it. Here, it looks fucking. Yeah, it does look. I mean, it's kind of like a bit of a goofy snake, isn't it?
It kind of looks like a bit like a snake, I guess.
Goofy snake.
Yeah.
I thought I was hallucinating. I thought I'd done that many juices that I was hallucinating. But look at the weird pattern coming off the mouth.
Yeah, that is weird, isn't it?
But that's there, isn't it? I'm not dreaming.
Yeah, that's the background.
Yeah, okay. One day of juicing and I've lost my mind. Yeah, so that's that. I'll keep that up. I'll unshare screen again, even though I don't know how to do it. How do I do it? Oh yeah, there we go.
I was just looking at your the suggested things there. Have you seen the film Kate on Netflix?
Watched it last night. Yeah,
I very much enjoyed it.
Yeah, I had it on in the background. My missus enjoyed it. I'm not really into action films, but right. So Keiju has just mentioned the two weird windows at the side being eyes. Yeah, I mean, I'm on board with that. It's not too I mean, snakes are historic historic symbolism anyway. Like, doesn't necessarily mean that the Pope is a snake. I mean,
No,
imagine that, like, have you ever heard the story of when Nicolas Cage had a brass statue made of himself to put in his garden?
No.
So Nicolas Cage had a brass statue of himself put in his garden, but then when he went bankrupt, he had to, well, not bankrupt, but when he lost a bit of money, he had to sell it. Imagine if that's what the Pope's done. Just like, I want to get an orchestra hall made of my face, but I don't want it to be too obviously my face because I don't want taxpayers thinking that they're spending all their money on a massive ego trip. So they just do a giant snake as an orchestra hall. That would be pretty funny, wouldn't it?
I mean, that's the conspiracy.
Yeah.
We should actually do an episode on the Vatican eventually. I think that's another big one.
Mick has just said, evening, lads. He's gutted he missed the start, or damn, he missed the start.
You didn't miss
I'm just
going
to go. Yeah, you haven't missed much. I'm on a juice diet. Ben's on a Papa John's diet. But if you put the two things in front of us and someone had to guess who was on what diet, I'm pretty sure I would get put the Papa John's diet. Because immediately I look like that's all I eat. Right. So Dean said when he was like when we were told milk was good for our bones and had to drink plenty of it in primary school. Yeah, and it turned out because it just like is a weird, it's full of fucking hormones and shit.
Fucks you up. Yeah, it fucks you up.
Makes your skin really bad, full of hormones.
Really bad.
Apparently, there's a really strong link between milk and depression. Which
I have bad skin, which caused me to have depression because of milk.
Yeah, so I mean, in the long run, milk is bad. Yeah. Drink oat milk. So doctors never want to acknowledge anything, apparently, which is true. They do, but again, they're on their own ego trip. They went to university for 7 or 8 years, and if you discover something new that didn't fall in line with what they learned 20 years ago, it's not relevant anymore. It has to be old science. Nobody cares about new science.
Yeah, new science is ostracized until it becomes the norm, which takes ages. And yeah, gut health especially is one that's been ignored for so long that
one thing that I think we should do, I'll try and get sorted out in the future, is if we can get all three of us on and even maybe a guest on Wednesday night chat. There's a crypto one that I watched that has like a scoreboard and people tally how what the thing is, because I don't even know where that came from. I was about to read something. But anyway, this was it. I would get my first point because Girl Balls has said that the chili is in the burger.
So
that's where I was going with that. So I get a goal for that.
One goal. One
it's in the
conspiracy
burger.
Goal.
Hang on. It's in the burger for sure. I'll get the ghost of Derek Acora to investigate my chili burger habits for you. Good chat. That's top banter. You are? Oh no, I thought my girlfriend was shouting me.
Shout at you.
She was probably shouting, "Shut up! I'm trying to watch Grey's Anatomy."
I'm trying to watch Derek Acora.
Shut up! I'm trying to watch Grey's. Pepe has. We've got a cat invader. He's just coming to our house through the bedroom window because he's a fat little bastard.
We've got one of them at our place. We've got a stray cat that keeps coming in, so I've had to shell out for one of them microchip cat flaps.
I've heard boiling hot water is good.
I've tried. It's too fast.
Yeah. My missus didn't hear that, but she'd come in here and smack my fucking teeth in. Don't
hit the cat!
The sculpture behind the papal throne is supposed to depict a gate to hell as a bit of a trolling by an artist. I forgot who. That's interesting. Yeah, and Dean said the Vatican Library too. But too many weird similarities.
One second, because I think my Wi-Fi's going.
Do you know what, Girl Balls? I don't actually know which one I'm going to. It's the one in Florida. I've had an argument with a customer about which one's which, but I meant to be going to the one in Florida for Halloween. I went a couple of years ago, which was great for the Halloween Horror Nights, but Joe Biden won't let us in at the moment. So we're just waiting for the get-go. We haven't bought any tickets. The only things we bought are the flights, and we bought them in January because they were fucking dirt cheap. But yeah, we haven't got anything yet. So fingers crossed, Joe Biden will probably be like, yeah, come one, come all, and then all the tickets are sold out. But again, still better being over there doing nothing. Well, you've just disappeared for a bit, but
I've just unplugged the cable. That's why.
Goebbels has. I'm just going to say Goebbels because girl balls is just like Goebbels sounds better. You're probably going to get banned, but just asked whether I was going to Disneyland or World, and then they've said maybe we can investigate the tunnels underneath. Ooh, I didn't even know that. I'm going to look. Tunnels under Disney. Ah, right. Okay, so this is Disneyland, California by the looks. Oh my God, what a haunting photograph. Right, I'm going to share screen again. Wow. Right, so Ben's gone. I'm going to share screen again. Look at this photo. I don't know if everybody's actually watching, but this photograph here. How do you zoom in? There must be a way to zoom. Yeah, that's a strange one. It's like there is no. You'd have thought that if they were going to build tunnels underneath the happiest place on earth, that they would make them a little bit happier. They almost look like evacuation. Well, maybe evacuation points. I don't know. Yeah, that's a strange one. I'll wait till Ben gets back. Ah, right, okay. Yeah, I was just showing everybody the tunnels. Goebbels has just pointed out the tunnels underneath Disneyland, and I was just saying for the happiest place on earth, you'd have thought they'd have probably put a little bit of effort in trying to make them look a little bit more friendly. Look at the tunnel.
It looks like in Austin Powers when he's like driving through where the henchmen are. Looks like that.
Yeah. And then there's another one here that's slightly happier because Mickey and although why do they look like they're blindfolded and they're about to be executed and that's the last walk they've got together?
Very strange.
Yeah. So right. Have you okay. So
like a Russian bunker, apparently. Disney conspiracies are mental. Are there any what are the main Disney ones?
Well, there's obviously Walt Disney was cryogenically frozen.
That's a good one.
Yeah. There is some strange ones about like obviously the Disney the films like Fantasia and stuff, but I don't necessarily think they're strange. I think they're just trying to get out a lot of deep-seated anger from the animators and the slightly racist production because there is a lot of racial undertones in Disney films. I watched a video the other day, which was 10 of Disney's most racist moments. And I thought there isn't going to be many here that offend me. Yeah, they all pretty much offended me. I don't know whether I've just become a snowflake or they're just all really offensive.
There's a few what we skip over when the kids are watching because they're that bad. Like the Pocahontas one is pretty bad. There's a bit in Peter Pan's that's like...
Is the Pocahontas one where they're
savages?
Oh yeah. What, you skip over that?
Well, there's a bit of it. Well, I just we don't want learning the word savages.
Well, that's not a bad word, is it? I mean, it is if they scream it. Yeah, obviously, if they start screaming it at a race of people, but then it's a difficult one because I don't think I've ever seen Pocahontas. So, are they referring to like?
There's more.
Are they referring to people who are actually savages, and they just happen to be?
They're referring to Native Americans.
Okay, right, but all of them. So, I mean, that is offensive. I mean. One of the things that's I don't know how I feel about it, and I'm starting to feel like I'm just getting older, but they're removing like pretty much everything from Frontierland at Disneyland because it's got racial undertones, but it's called Frontierland. Like
cancelled.
Yeah, so they've removed the totem poles because it's politically inappropriate or cultural appropriation. But I mean the people, I don't understand. Like, are we just going to get to a point where we're just going to delete all history just because it offends
That's what
somebody somewhere? Like,
I've said that a few times to people, is that you can't, we shouldn't be destroying these historical things or getting rid of things, because they're moments in time, and history will repeat itself if we don't learn from it. We'll just do it again. It will just happen again, right?
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Is it's the only thing that seems to be getting stored these days is on databases that aren't controlled by the people. They're controlled by the mass corporations. So I mean, it's almost like books won't be a thing, because why would they be? Like, so books don't even need to be destroyed anymore. They just, oh, I've lost the hard drive to do with everything that happened in World War II. Oh, that's convenient. It's not even I've lost the hard drive. It's like, oh no, I've accidentally pressed delete. I've accidentally pressed Control Alt Delete on everything. Yeah. Weird.
That's another thing I wanted to talk about, because I don't think we worked it out, did we? The competition for the
tattoo.
Yeah. And there's only like 6 people, I think, in this chat, but
has anyone actually entered?
No one's even. No, I'm just literally looking at dear old Huxley's notes from the episode that we did recently, part 2, September 11th, part 2, and that's when it just says, "Don't sweat it, grand old nonce of York shops tattoo."
Nice.
Who? Yeah. How are we going to decide who wants it? Or if someone wants it, they can fucking have it, I guess.
I was going to say, whoever is literally the first person to contact me and book in can have the tattoo. There's no competition.
Yeah.
Because I mean, not many people are going to want that shit. But it wouldn't surprise me. Nobody will want it now, but as soon as he's convicted, everyone will come running.
Yeah. Get in now.
Just waiting out there. Get in now, get in early. Be the first. Okay, I can't promise it'll be the first and only. So, hello, Kit. I just noticed you joined. I'm so bad at doing this. Kit has asked whether we watched the Pillow Guy documentary. Don't know what that is. You can have a look at that, Ben, while I run through these.
The what documentary?
The Pillow Guy. I feel like I have, but it rings a bell. It says was made for staff to move under. Was made for the staff to move under. A friend of mine used to work there. Said it was the creepiest place to be. I'm presuming that's to do with the weird corridors underneath.
Guy documentary. My Pillow Guy. Mike Lindell drops absolute proof of Trump. What? Is it called Absolute Proof? My Pillow.
No, it just says Pillow. It just says Pillow Guy documentary. So I'm presuming they mean. Yeah, I'm just going through these. Goebbels has just said that's world. Land is the one that Disney built with his insane Mason designs first. Proper good content, delving into Club 33. Yeah, Club 33 is a weird one. So there's a really big waiting list to get into Club 33, and you basically have to be fucking minted. But it's just it's basically a prohibition bar in California, Disney, California. But there's also loads of different weird secrets about Disney. Like if you're a MasterCard owner, there's special lounges for you, but they're secret. So you only know about them if you know about them. No one tells you about them. So obviously to buy a bottle of water in Disneyland is like fucking $6. Or probably more now. It's probably like $10. But if you go to the MasterCard lounge, it's free. But they don't tell anyone, obviously, because everyone... who the fuck doesn't have a MasterCard?
You've got a MasterCard, right? So
yeah.
You could just go...
I've got a fucking gold Revolut card, mate.
So have I.
Went and got it. Well, I fucking got it delivered, but
mine's not been delivered yet either. So,
it's so good.
17th of September. Yes.
Mine said 14th, and it arrived on the 7th. So.
Oh well, mine might be at home because Baz's came because we both got them for work.
Nice.
So
no, you didn't. You got it for free water.
It's true.
Free water.
We got it free work for free water. So. Absolute Proof, I think, is the documentary they're talking about. And apparently it's the conspiracy theory that Donald Trump won the 2020 presidential election instead of Joe Biden. The documentary was removed by YouTube Vimeo for violating the community standards. Absolute Proof has won 2 awards: the Golden Raspberry Award for Worst Picture and the Golden Raspberry Award for Worst Actor. Okay, so it's been.
Someone told me about this at Slam Dunk. So this was what the QAnon a lot were talking about. This was the thing that they're saying that. So I don't know if you've just recently seen Donald Trump's just gone to the press or spoke to the press about how there won't be an America in 2 years, but he will be president in 2024. I'm like, what? He's on record saying there won't be an America in 2 years' time because it's basically Joe Biden's going to fucking ruin it, but he will be president in 2024. Yeah. But they believe, a lot of people believe that this whole thing is an inside job. I think we were talking about on the last one, the whole thing is an inside job to make people really, really want Trump back. And it almost feels like that's what's happened with Boris Johnson, because half the people now who used to be like proper fucking lefty Corbyn, like, oh, Jeremy Corbyn, we hate Boris Johnson. They're all now like absolutely brainwashed by Boris Johnson. Like their people are like, you know, if the pandemic didn't happen and Boris Johnson said, right, we want you to go get this fucking injection, they'd all be like, the fucking Tory boys are trying to like fucking mess with our brains and blah, blah, blah. But now because like, you know, it's, oh, you don't care about anybody but yourselves, go and get the vaccine. You know, it's like insane.
It's insane. The amount of weird people that are just like, got this like vaccination is the savior thing. It's like, I had the vaccine and I got COVID and I passed on COVID. And so did everyone I know who had the vaccination got COVID around Southend.
Yeah.
So it's like,
sorry. Go on.
Yeah, I think the people these it's just, yeah, I just don't get it.
We've got some we've pretty much got some pretty good suggestions for future podcasts here, but again, I just can't tell whether people are taking the piss. Girl balls. This is brilliant. I don't know if it's true. Rumors have it that MK Ultra tests happen when the park closes. I think they fucking happen when you're in the park. Like some of the rides, you go there. Like, I think it's Space Mountain, and as you're going up, the lights like turn with you, but you're almost just like, you almost get lost in it, and then the next thing, your neck's like fucking broken neck. And
yeah, I think it is pretty done there.
Also, Dane says, we sold the land of Auschwitz to Alton Towers. Merlin. I don't know if that's true either.
To Merlin Entertainment? No way.
It says we sold the land of Auschwitz to Alton Towers.
Auschwitz is in. No.
Yeah, so
and left.
Has he? I can't ever tell when anyone's leaving. God. Mike Lindell documentary. Don't know who Mike Lindell is. I'll have a look.
That's the one. That's the Absolute Proof one about.
Okay.
So that one. So yeah, obviously it's going to get left. The left are going to attack it, but that's what I don't understand. It's like it's become. We talk about this a lot, but it's no longer about what people actually believe or people's actual politics or what's right and wrong anymore. It's about left and right. It's about Republican or Democrat or Conservative or Labour. It's no longer about I believe these things, because on a micro level, I have a lot in common with, because I vote Labour because fuck the Tories, but on a micro level, like face to face, person to person, I have a lot in common with people who vote Tory, and I have a lot in common with people who vote Labour.
And as a business person, the Tory policies. I mean, again, this is what annoys me about British politics. Not necessarily British politics, but working class politics. We've always constantly been told, fuck the Tories from growing up. So regardless of whether we align with what they're doing, we'll always vote against them, regardless of who's in, which is exactly what we discriminate our elders for doing with the Tories. So it's like, we're doing exactly the same thing. It just seems more legitimate because the Tories are seen as like the bad guys, and Labour is seen as like fucking Greenpeace hippie fucking, dope smoking lefties. And it's just like, well, for me as a businessman, everything the Tories do is far better for me. But because historically, if anyone ever found out I voted Tories, I'd be thrown under. You know, like it's almost like, what do you do? So I mean, last year, I mean, I probably shouldn't be admitting this, but last year I just fucking voted for like the crazy ones in the local election. Like Monster Raven Lunar Party were in the locals, but they weren't in the general this year. So I was just like, what happens there? And obviously, I don't know what happens. Like if I vote for them and they get in York, they don't get a seat, can they? I don't think so. I don't really know what happens.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't give a fuck, to be honest.
No, because it's not really going to change anything, is it? Because we all know the fixed.
We've said hundreds of times on this podcast, and we've only done 21 episodes. We've still said 100 times, like, how can we make a difference? How can we chat? There's no way of changing this anymore. It's set in stone. And I think someone's on one of the podcasts I was listening to about 9/11, they genuinely believe that there hasn't been a real election since 2000. Since then it's been rigged because it's easy to do it.
So I don't know if we were talking about it last week. And again, this isn't a crypto podcast, but I'm sure everyone knows by now that I'm hugely invested in it, not just financially, but mentally and physically. Cardano, their ecosystem is going into Africa, which is where obviously politics are so corrupt. And they're doing it all by blockchain technology. So it's like, we need something like that. We're so forward in terms of like, I don't know what, everything. Like, I guess, I mean, again, who's right to say that our beliefs are more forward thinking than the general African public? Like, you know, they've got their own ways, and soon they'll be corrupted by the Americans, and everyone will be like, you know, very much like the reason why the Afghans didn't want fucking American to be in there, because they didn't want everything to be, not the Afghans, the Taliban. They didn't want everything to become Americanized, did they? So,
yeah.
But yeah, again, who's to say what's right and wrong when it comes to politics? It's kind of same story, different face. And
I really don't have much of a clue about politics. I just know what I like. And I
think you have a general clue. You just don't. I just don't think anyone knows what they can do to change it, because, again, it's the majority. Well, meant to be the majority, isn't it? That hold the vote. But again, I mean, at least British voting system is not quite as bad as the American one. The American one is fucking
it's bullshit,
dreadful.
Isn't it? It's so like sneaky, and it feels really like there's a lot of room for fuckery in there, like, and you know.
Keju says, I don't think every election since 2000 was rigged, but I think every single one of them has had serious attempts at rigging.
I guess they've all been rigged in some way or another, or maybe not rigged, but tampered with, like, be it through like the Cambridge Analytica stuff that happened for Brexit, like where it was just, and Donald Trump's thing, because Brexit was the sort of the test run for what they did with Trump's campaign, which was to use social media and all that crap to kind of send people in a opposite direction or the right direction to kind of get the thing they wanted out of them. Like Crooked Hillary was purely come up with by algorithms. You know, what do people respond to? You know, that's what Cambridge Analytica was. If you watch The Big Hack if you haven't on Netflix.
It's fantastic, yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. It's scary as fuck.
Yeah, it's not great, is it?
Yeah, I think watch that. What's it? What's that?
Social Dilemma.
Watch the Social Dilemma and the Big Hack.
The Great Hack.
The Great Hack.
Great Hack. Social Dilemma.
Watch those two back to back, and you'll just give up, I think.
I'm just going to share this on my page. You don't seem to be able to do swipe up link anymore. Have they just got rid of that?
No idea. I've never had 10,000 followers, mate.
Well, there is now a thing that just says link. You can just add it on. It's part of the. That's good. Part of the sticker brigade. Cool. Right, I'm just going to put live now. Sorry, yeah, I'm just...
I'll do the same, guys. I'll do the same. Yeah, and anyone watching, share this link on your Facebook And let's just get some normies in here. Let's freak them out with some conspiracy. Because you know how people get freaked out by conspiracy. We are live.
We are live.
Any other questions before I start going through Huxley's stuff from the other day?
So what's Huxley talking about?
So Huxley, dear old Huxley, who's not joined the thing, he's probably out doing magic because he's a magician, if you didn't know. Not only can he prove that the Earth is spherical, he can also pull a rabbit out of a hat.
He didn't do that though, did he? He didn't do that on the flat Earth one. He did a trick where he pulled the card off the side of the screen.
That's true. He did that. He's so clever.
He is.
So he basically just listed out all the things that we didn't have time to cover in our episodes. Because Dean had to go and get his wife microchipped.
The 9/11 one.
Yes, so there's some bits that he missed out on. So I'm going to pick out a few good ones. What happened to the black boxes from the planes?
Yeah, because they're meant to be indestructible out there, but I mean, I can't see how something's indestructible.
Yeah, I can't see how they've survived that, to be honest, because they would have been obliterated, wouldn't they? They would have been dustified, or whatever you called it.
I really want to know, just slightly off subject, I really want to know what KZU Corp just wrote and retracted, because these are my favorite. They're my favorite conspiracies. What was so bad I had to delete it from public eye.
Is it just spelling, or is it a statement that you regret? I'll tell you what, before we get into this, I saw a tweet earlier that today England and Scotland are officially using laser weapons. Did you see that?
That's probably, I mean, again, that goes on to the Cathy Wood thing. I hope people watch the Cathy Wood documentary. I had a few people. Judy Wood, yeah. Sorry, Cathy Wood.
Cathy Wood.
Cathy Wood is she's one of the CEOs of ARK Investments.
Yes. So
yes,
let me read this because
Wood.
This does tie in very nicely to what we were saying on the conspiracy podcast about 9/11, is that laser weapons or energy weapons will be now fitted to British warships.
Yeah.
That is, considering it's gone from the not being laser weapons to now they have laser weapons. There's not been a progression there, has there? It's just been, we didn't have them. Now they're fitted to our stuff.
Yeah, that's what concerns me the most, because I went to Laser Quest when I was probably 9 years old, and it was a thing then. And there were even to imagine that there was such a thing would have been lunacy. But it turns out that it's now just a thing, and everyone's like, fine. Have you seen the video of the land gun shooting at that thing in the sky, and it's like shooting like fucking strings of bullets? I don't know what they call them, like what Rambo carries over his shoulders, but chain bullets or whatever. And it's just an automated thing, and it shoots rail bullets in it. It's shooting these things at the sky, and there's this thing flying around the sky, and it's almost shooting like. It's weird. They're not like bullets. It's almost like Star Wars. It's almost like a constant beam.
Really?
Yeah. It was on it was on like #UFO on Twitter or something like that. So it's probably, but again, really strange because it was moving really rapidly, and I kind of think even if it was just fake,
it's concerning.
It's definitely not fake. The video is definitely not fake, but whatever they're shooting at, even if it was fake, I'm just thinking. Whoever's made this to be fake has wasted a lot of fucking bullets, a lot of taxpayers' money.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? Like how much the amount of money that fucking goes into this shit that could go into other.
Firing my laser.
Disney MK Ultra programming, the dark side of Disney exposed. I have seen that. It's fucking really good. But again, it's kind of. It is really good. It's on YouTube. I'll watch that tonight.
It's a weird one because there's a lot of obviously animation back in the 40s and stuff was made on a very limited budget. So there is a lot of like this very rhythmic kind of psycho hypnosis inducing vibe to it. So when it shows you something, you're immediately like, I can see what they've done there, because it has got a very kind of like primitive, like fluid alpha beat movement to it. So it almost like Penguin with his fucking twirling umbrella, you know what I mean? Like it is just a black and white circle. There's nothing hypnotic about it, but the idea, the concept, it is really good. It does talk a lot about like rhetoric, kind of subliminal fucking shit.
I'll give that a look then, because I haven't got anything else to watch tonight.
Keiju and Kit are just going wild here. Like, honestly, I really don't know what any of you are talking about.
Why is this the worst thing to spell it? Right, okay, right. I'm in the chat just a second.
Oh, you're in the chat. Yeah, you're better at deciphering these things. Right. I can't even speak to my customers on a daily.
Right, okay. I'm semi-admitted about the 2021 kind of. I mean, not rigged, but like them blacklisting everything Trump related. Yeah, I think that was a media blackout. I think, and they just wanted Biden in, didn't they? That was the main thing there. Prove the cube Earth, and I'll be impressed. The cube Earth? No, there can't be a cube Earth.
Well, the thing is, if there could be a cube Earth, because essentially, if we're flat Earth, different dimensions could be on the other sides.
Yeah, I bet Weesey didn't think about that, did he?
No. I wonder if we're ever going to be able to speak to old David Weiss again, Dr. David Weiss.
I mean,
because
I'd like to.
He might be a bit egotistical. Like, I've got a feeling that he probably does watch the videos that he's been on back. Like, or maybe he doesn't. Maybe he just genuinely doesn't give a fuck what anyone thinks. I mean, he obviously doesn't, does he? He believes the Earth's flat. He's got apps to sell, man. He's got to sell these apps.
That's what I think. He just wanted to sell his app, didn't he? He's found a niche market and he's doubled down on it. It's the same people who do streaming, really, isn't it? They go, I just stream this game all day long, and come and watch me stream and give me money for watching me stream. I like to talk about flat Earth. Here's my app. Come and pay me money to talk about flat Earth. It's it's just a thing, isn't it? Ultrasound weapons. What? Someone said.
Yeah. So I think this is what I was talking about with the thing on the ground, shooting the thing on the ground almost looks like something out of Star Wars. It looks like something that would like pop up and just go and shoot shit. But it's like it's following this thing in the sky, and then whatever's in the sky is shooting this thing down. Keiju has just said it was like tracer. The bullets have got tracers on them. I mean, the only thing I know with like that is when you unlock something in Call of Duty, you get like colored tracers. But I mean, I don't understand why anybody would want to identify colored tracers to make them visible at night.
I just don't know why they're trialing laser weapons. Like, I feel like this is dangerous. Why we should only 72.5 million invested in laser and radio frequency weapons.
Yeah, but you've got to remember that there's $85 billion invested in leaving weapons in Afghan. So, I mean, it's they don't give a fuck, do they? They don't care, man.
We are investing 6.6 billion in research and development across defense over the next 4 years, reaffirming our commitment to provide the armed forces with truly advanced capabilities. Directed energy weapons are a key element of our future equipment programs, and we intend to become a world leader in the research, manufacture, and implementation of the next generation technology. Who's to say? I reckon the Shard's going to get direct energy weaponed.
Is the Shard like the big building in London? Is that the good one?
One,
right?
Nothing
I mean,
goes on there.
I'm still pretty adamant that the Judy Wood thing, it seems legit to me. Like, it again, I'm not a scientist, and I wouldn't claim that I wouldn't even really claim I'm a very good conspiracy theorist, but there's just something odd about the way that building falls down. It just doesn't look natural.
Yeah, it looks like it's raining dust, doesn't it?
Yeah. And I mean, the thing is, she explains it perfectly. She said if you were to like attack that building at the bottom, the top part of the building, for the most part, would fall down or sideways, and it would be complete. It wouldn't just vaporize. It doesn't, the wind doesn't make buildings fall apart. And there is a rebuke from it saying that the building was created in a way that it would just turn to dust to save collateral, so to save people like dying, as many casualties. But I'm like, that just seems obscene. That seems like building the tallest building in the world out of fucking playing cards. Like, why would you? Just stupid. Just silly. Just fucking silly.
But it doesn't make any sense. Like, how does that even look? What is it, like some special like cement that as soon as it it's one like that's
one little bit of like
they were meant to
terror,
and
then it just
weren't they?
Yeah. But that was to do with the foundations were made to wobble in the wind.
So surely if it just wobbled a bit too much, it would just go to
the thing we never talked about on the podcast either is the fact that it's built on water. It's built on the Hudson River, like the riverbed.
Yeah.
It's called a bathtub, right? So it's like basically they built something around it to hold the foundations. But as soon as that collapsed, which it would have done instantly, they said, from the foundations corrupting, New York would have been completely underwater. Another thing that she mentions it again. I can't recommend that documentary enough. It's really good.
I have still not watched it, but I will watch it now that we've got direct energy weapons in the UK Army. But yeah,
I mean, Keiju and Kit are having a talk about this laser weapon thing, but I don't want to interrupt them. But it seems very.
Wait. Because lasers are good against missiles, like if you set up a grid and just overheat them, it would be perfectly effective. Use the lasers to overheat the missiles. They're also looking at making tanks human-free, so the next generation of tanks will be like drones. I've got a AI lawnmower, so if I've got a lawnmower that does it, they've definitely got tanks that can do it.
Yeah, I was going to say I've seen 3. It's really weird how this has worked out, but I've seen, my missus showed me somebody had put their baby on one of the electric indoor hoovers, you know, like that cat that's dressed as a shark.
Yeah. What, and it ate the baby?
Yeah. What, the Hoover or the cat?
Yeah, the Hoover.
Yeah, and then it's weird. I must have said something like Hoover, and then 3 videos came up, but like 3 videos of people demonstrating that they've got an electric Hoover. Not just an electric Hoover. They are quite modern, but quite historic. But yeah, really strange. Really strange.
I had one of those robot Hoover things for a while, but Katie didn't like it, so let's get rid of it.
Yeah, my missus hates all technology. She hates the fact that these lights can change color. She hates the fact that you can't turn them on with a normal switch. Don't worry, I have already introduced the round kinetic switches that don't use any batteries or any energy, but no, not interested. She just wants traditional old brass switches. You know, very much like this is, in fact, a thing that I've, again, digressing. Apparently, I mean, you'll probably be able to research this, the first civilian astronaut rocket launches tomorrow.
Really?
SpaceX. Yeah, Dragon launches tomorrow, apparently. Haven't looked at it, but it's an all-civilian crew. No trained astronauts, just trained civilians who...
Yeah, it's about to send its first crew of private citizens to space. What a bunch of mentalists.
Yeah, nobody in charge, just civilians.
We'll go. I love Tesla.
Well, this is the thing. Like, I've had this conversation with multiple people, and again, they just keep ridiculing it, and I'm just like, I'm done now. I can't speak to you people anymore. Is they're gonna send just absolute idiots to Mars? Because apparently the only people who would want to go to Mars are absolute idiots.
Yeah.
And well, no, I disagree. I have to remind people that a lot of people don't have. I mean, again, there's so many psychological elements here that people would be like, if they can't cope on Earth, how are they going to cope on a fucking 9-year space mission to Mars or however fucking long it takes? But there is people who genuinely want to be at the forefront of the future. Like Elon Musk is one of them.
Doesn't want to go in the plane out there himself.
You watch the interview with him, and he's just like, the problem with space travel is that, you know, inevitably in the initial testing that someone dies. He's like, yeah, cool, because you genuinely don't have any, like, apathy, I guess, or empathy. I don't know what the word, I can't remember which one empathy. It is. But I'm also like, if you'd have asked me again, I'm not even implying that they would be like, yeah, we'll give him a chance because still am overweight, probably got a bit of a drinking problem. But if you'd have asked me 5 years ago, look, do you want to be one of the first people to go to space, to Mars? I would have volunteered. So Mars 1 went up like maybe, I want to say 2017.
Yeah.
But if you'd have asked me like ages ago, I'd have been like, yeah, I'll do it 100%. Like I'm even more now. I just want to see hopefully a positive change in something, like, or even maybe it's just boredom of Earth. Like everything just seems to be like in a cycle, just a shitty cycle. Like obviously we have a finite amount of time on this planet. So like 100 years, let's say, if we're lucky, like to be one of that first crew to have, and it's not even like an ego thing, to have that legacy live on that you were, you know, even if you went up in the fucking first rocket and it just exploded.
Instantly.
It's one of them things, isn't it? It's like, I don't know. I think it's fantastic. But
Yep, I think you might be right. I'm not entirely sure. These guys do look blooming nerdy as fuck in this picture though. Their costumes are brilliant. They got little peaks on their little helmets.
So are they? They're not actually. Oh my god! Right. So obviously I've been searching Disneyland and stuff. Just typed in dragon because obviously that's the space mission. First search: dragon underneath the castle at Disneyland Paris.
What?
That's surely not a conspiracy. That must just be some visual. Oh yeah, there's an actual dragon underneath. Wow.
The SpaceX shuttle thing does look fucking sick though, the dragon thing.
So they're doing this as like what Branson did. Are these the people who are actually going? They're going to space, not just going to like 5 miles up or whatever the fuck it was.
Well, 10 miles up is space, isn't it? There's so fucking Bezos and what's his name? Fucking dickhead Branson. They are. They never went.
You got that wrong. You meant Branson and dickhead Bezos.
What?
You meant Branson and dickhead Bezos, didn't you? Not Bezos and dickhead Branson. Yeah. Oh no, Branson's far. But if we're gonna label either of them a dickhead,
all right,
it has to be Bezos.
Is a dickhead. Bezos is a total cunt.
There we go.
Hell yes! That video, if anyone hasn't seen it, I seem to have.
So this just shows to you how little people on this planet care about anything to do with bettering our planet. The first question on Google: does SpaceX Dragon have a toilet? Like,
does it?
And the next one is Space Dragon going to Mars? Like, the first question is, does it have a fucking toilet? Like, oh my God. Like, this is why, like, I refuse to be on Facebook anymore, because out of every 500 people that are on there, there'll be 499 asking whether it has a toilet, and there'll be one person going, oh, I wonder if this space mission could benefit our society. And you got the fucking...
I wonder if they'll wank.
Oh, space cheers. Like, just like...
She's well ugly.
Globules. Can't spend fucking 9 months in a spaceship with her. I like your t-shirt, by the way. Just
it's good, isn't it?
Yeah. It's the company. It's the company shirt. I like that. Nice. Yeah. I'm a large, but after this juice diet, I'll be a small.
I'll send you a small, and then you'll ask for a large. You said. Yeah.
I'll cut the sleeves off. I'll just cut the sleeves off and have a really, really thin tie or a wide tie. Tie. So this space thing looks pretty good.
It looks cool. I apparently, according to Neil deGrasse Tyson, who is
that guy,
such a smug prick.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
And he's such a downer, man.
Oh no.
He said that neither Bezos or Branson went to space because they didn't go 10 miles up, which is fair enough. And Bezos just went in a giant cock. So
yeah, I mean, this is the thing I hate so much about everything now, because you can just have a conversation with somebody, and you can just be having a conversation a normal conversation, and then 5 minutes later they come back after they've done a little bit of research on something and go, "Oh, well, Neil deGrasse Tyson said this." I'm just like, I don't care what that guy says. You know, he just loves himself. He loves the institutions that he works within. Anybody who has anything against what he has to say or any theoretical like science or anything. Oh, well, I got taught. And it's just like, yeah, all right, we get it. We understand you were taught by an institution that will teach many other fucking kids about science. But who's to say that they're not all, you know, that no one's ever going to move forward, are they, if they only believe the science that they found out about, you know, 40 years ago?
Science is about proving things wrong and being told you're wrong. That's what science is about. It's about being wrong and proving yourself right. It's not about being told straight away, oh, well, that's wrong, or otherwise science won't go any further. Science is about fucking like constantly trying to do new and trying different things, whether it works or not. It's like hypotheses, hypothecate. Is it hypotheses or hypothecating? Anyway, making like hypotheticals into real life. That's what science is about.
KG has just pointed out that they support. Sorry, I don't know your pronoun.
I can't hear.
Is it pronoun? But completely supports the space colonization thing, but maybe thinks we should do the moon first. But
what's the point?
But this does go on to a conspiracy theory, because what happens if we did colonize the moon and then realized that somebody had already fucking done it, or the moon was the spaceship upon we landed in our... Yeah, was that the noise that the moon would make if you landed on it? Is that the noise? Yeah, hollow moon. Yeah, because I mean, there's theories that it's a power station. There's theories that it is a almost like a hypnosis device. There's theories that it's a spaceship that we landed here on, and
it's just covered in dust.
Yeah, or maybe the spaceship was made of dust. Maybe the only material. Well, the only material that they had wherever that fucking spaceship came from was the same material that they built the Twin Towers with.
Yeah, maybe
it's just dust.
Maybe the Twin Towers was the next spaceship and it didn't blow up. They took off and left.
Yeah, that's
there
it.
There you go. And that is the end of the podcast, there, people.
And in record time, in 53 minutes, we've managed to complete. We understand.
The Twin Towers all the answers. Was a spaceship, and it left Earth. Yeah, I mean, the moon's an interesting one, because obviously it's very, like, when people talk about it, even David Weiss said it doesn't make sense that the moon's there. I mean, but he's a fucking lunatic, so. But like
a lunatic, I like the pun. That was good.
Yeah,
because that means like something to do with the moon, right? Yeah, lunar.
Yeah, lunar. And then tick means crazy, right? Moon crazy.
Yeah, because Irish people call people ticks. You fucking tick, yeah.
Because that's tick, as in you're tick, as in
you're a fucking tick. You're a fucking tick, yeah.
You tickle.
Tick, yeah. Lunar.
I like that theory that the moon was a spaceship. I've never heard that one before.
That's a theory. It's not my theory.
I thought you came up with that one.
No, it's in a lot of stuff. It's in Prison Planet. They believe that we were shipped here on the moon, and it's used as almost like a beacon. So the moon controls the planet that we're on, and the signals are sent from the moon back to the mother planet, because we're basically like a big Australia. They just sent us all here to just slave and mine and work in the grand scheme. Moon.
Kind of like Arrakis or Dune.
I haven't seen Dune or read Dune.
Oh, right, okay, then you wouldn't get it.
But there's a new film coming out, so I will probably watch that.
It's coming out soon, and it's going to be amazing. And I'm going to go and see it on a come down.
Oh,
because that's just the way I roll.
So the hollow moon hypothesis, or the spaceship moon hypothesis, proposes that the Earth's moon is either wholly hollow or otherwise contains substantial interior space. No scientific evidence exists to support the idea. Cool. I think that's that over with. Although there is a lot of Russian names underneath that look quite interesting. In 1970, Michael Vassin and Alexander Sherbakov of what was then the Soviet Academy of Sciences advanced the hypothesis that the moon is a spaceship created by unknown beings. The article was entitled "Is the Moon a Creation of Alien Intelligence?" and was published in Sputnik, the Soviet equivalent of the Reader's Digest. Oh, not Sputnik, the rocket. Yeah, their hypothesis relies heavily on suggestion that large lunar craters, genuinely assumed to be formed by meteor impact, are genuinely too shallow or have flat or even convex bottoms. They hypothesize that small meteors are making a cup-shaped depression in the rocky surface of the moon, while large meteors are drilling through the rocky layers and hitting an armored hull.
Ooh.
It also says, I mean, you just demonstrated the sound that it would make, but it also says between 1969 and 1977, seismic meters installed on the moon by the Apollo missions recorded moonquakes. The moon was described to make a noise as a ringing like a bell.
Really?
Yeah.
That is interesting. So I guess, I mean, because obviously we've got the moon landing as on the list for one of the next podcasts that we do. Mm-hmm. Not the next one, because that's a
big one.
What we're going to do.
That's a gigantic one. A behemoth.
You've broken up. I don't know what's happening with my internet, because normally it's amazing.
Maybe Dean was hyping it up. Dean was amplifying our internet.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, so the moon, I mean, again, it's been something that's been in like jokes and stuff in the conspiracy community for a while, like the fact that the moon conspiracy, that they even landed on it, and then the fact that it might not even be our moon, you know.
Yeah.
Because that controls a lot of things that happen on this planet. Like,
yeah, the tides.
Yeah.
Big thing.
The mentalists.
The mentalists, yeah. The werewolves, obviously.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jaffa cakes.
And it's, I don't know if it's just like a psychological thing, but you, like, whenever I talk to like bouncers, or my sister-in-law's a police officer, they do have more arrests, and they have more trouble on full moons.
Yeah.
But
yeah, there is a correlation, isn't there, between the moon? Well, there's a lot of theory that the moon controls invisible waves. So obviously not just tidal waves, but it controls radio waves and infrared waves and stuff like that. Yeah. It's a weird one. Sorry, I'm going to have a look at this chat because there's so much stuff. But again, for everybody or anybody who's wondering, me and Ben have just decided to do this like as regular as possible, just to riff some things out, because again, we aren't the most read up. We're definitely not the most. We're definitely not even in the top fucking 100% of read up people on conspiracy theories. But it's always interesting to see what people come out with, because there's a lot of people who just like don't want to talk about stuff like this in public because they genuinely feel they'll be ridiculed. Whereas me and Ben just genuinely don't care whether we get ridiculed in public talking about it, because we're pretty comfortable with what people think about us now. So any of the weird fucking things that you write and hear is like almost like spurring us on. Sorry if we don't like get to all of them, because again, you know, it's good for you guys to talk things out between you as well, because a lot of this stuff I'm just like, what the fuck is this? What are they talking about? What are they on about? Yeah.
The moon one, the more I think about it, the more I think like, because
take it easy, Kit. See you in a bit. Thanks for tuning in.
The moon one is a crazy one. It is a crazy one, and I am interested. Maybe when we do the moon landing episode, maybe we do a moon episode separately. So we'll do them as like a two-part moon.
Yeah.
Because the moon is well interesting.
Yeah.
The more you think about it. Someone said 9/11.
Yeah, I'm just.
Oh, right, 9/11. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, so Kit before they left us just said that the moon is an egg.
The moon is an egg.
It could be.
Could be a giant egg.
It could be a giant dinosaur egg.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is crazy. I didn't think about that.
What?
Maybe it is.
The dinosaur egg. I
Yeah.
mean, some of the actual visionary stuff for this thing is incredible. Can you see that? Oh no. So look at this moon.
I mean, yeah, but I mean that the scale of that what's inside it is going to be absolutely huge then.
Yeah,
Because
I mean, it almost reminds me of, in Interstellar. Is it Interstellar where there's like planets that like are almost like they're like tubular
yeah,
and you live on the inside of the tubular plane? Like, it almost
yeah,
reminds me of that. Like, it's really cool. And I mean, I'm guessing that's the energy source in the middle.
it's the core.
Yeah,
The
it
core.
almost just looks like those ASMR videos that you watch of things crushing things.
Oh yeah, with the melted ball. Oh,
Yeah,
I
and you
love
put
those
like all
videos, man.
sorts of stuff in it. I love that shit. Yeah, so I mean, we got plenty of stuff there.
Yeah, the moon's a big one. We'll do that next. We've not told anyone what we're going to do, but we are recording a new episode next week before JJ goes on holiday. Where are you going?
I'm gonna be going to Florida. It's not before I go on holiday. Oh, you mean next week? I'm going
Yeah.
to London with my mother.
Are you? Is it
Yeah,
for
to
some kind of competition?
no, not another competition. I've had enough of my TV days are over, I think.
Has that been broadcast yet? That episode?
No, they're just showing repeats at the moment, so
Ah,
I don't really know what's going on. But no, we're gonna go watch some Broadway musicals. Many people probably don't know, but I like a musical or two. We're actually going to see 3 in 2 days, which is probably going to be
really?
fucking awful. Yeah.
Let me come meet you for dinner or something or lunch.
I
No,
don't.
no, because
I don't know. I
I
don't
live
know, man.
45 minutes away
That's
from
t- that's. I wouldn't go 45 minutes away to see somebody.
wouldn't you? I would if they
45
did
minutes is
normally live
fucking well far.
if they normally live 5 hours away. I would.
Well, why don't you just come up at Christmas time or something?
Only if I could bring my
I
children.
honestly, man, I can't even do it. My mum's stressful enough as it is. She won't ride the underground. She doesn't like areas that she's not familiar with. Like
So London.
so last year, basically, we not last year, the last time we went, she got comfortable in a bar, and I was just like sat there. The beer was fucking awful. It was just around the corner from Covent Garden. She absolutely loved it. She's chatting to this bloke, and I'm just like, all right, anyway. And I was like, walked outside, went for a cigarette, went back in, and like next thing I was like, it was party fucking city. The whole place smelled like poppers. It was just a gay bar, and my mum was just like, well, there's no point in going anywhere else. This place is nice. And I was just like, yeah, it's all right for you. Like I fucking everybody was just like proper raving, and they were just like looking me up and down. Obviously, I know they weren't, but I just don't look like I fit in a gay bar. Like, I don't have any problems with it. I've been to loads of gay bars, but this one specifically was like businessmen who just finished at the office meeting very, very young boys. And I was like, I don't feel comfortable with this.
And your mum was loving it.
My mum was loving it. And
So
then
friendly,
when we left, I was like, Mum, that you are aware that was a gay bar. She was just like,
oh, shut up.
really? Like, really? And I was like, look, pointing outside. The fucking windows were just like gay pride flags. I was like, all right, yeah, makes sense. Yeah. But then again,
Okay, well,
I'm saying all this. I'm going to see musicals with my mum in London for the week. So that just maybe that is.
Though.
We're not going to get there till evening on Tuesday, and we're leaving early on Thursday.
Oh, okay.
So not the week, 3 days. Well, 2.5 days.
2 days. Get there Tuesday, leave Thursday. You're there for one day.
Well, 2 nights.
2 nights.
2 nights, yeah. Well,
Okay.
I think we're going at, yeah. Tonight.
Be pointless.
Yeah, it will be pointless. Like I said,
Like the time you went on Pointless.
Yeah, pretty much. That was a waste of fucking time as well. Yeah, we're gonna go see Wicked. We're gonna see Hairspray, and then we're off to go see Back to the Future again.
Oh, I've not seen it. Is it good?
It's incredible. Yeah, I saw it in Manchester the day of lockdown. Everything closed down that night, 23rd of March, I think it was.
So, Obenswe or Girlballs has asked, hopefully we can have a Draco Alien special. That's probably more for the Cryptid Ramblers, that one, I'd say. but we could reptilian, draconian kind of thing. Well, I mean, we should do reptilian because it's like we will do eventually do reptilians, I'm sure.
I'm reading the YouTube chat. I'm just so confused.
I'm looking at Discord chat.
I don't know if this is like breaking things up because KG has just said this was just a thought I had because of the similarities. Thought the only one I can remember is Bill Murray to Tom Hanks. I don't know if I've missed a part. I feel like I've missed something. I'm like, is that a conspiracy theory that Bill Murray and Tom Hanks are very similar?
That's not a conspiracy. They're not. That's bullshit.
Right. So they've put the space station from Interstellar is called an O'Neill cylinder and is actually a proposed space station idea. Oh, that's interesting. I have seen Elysium. That's really good. Along with the other space station idea, which is the Stanford Taurus, which was the one in Elysium. This is what I was just saying, Ben, when you just disappeared before. I was like, it almost feels like these chats are good for us because we don't know fuck all about conspiracy theories when we actually break it down. Like, we're probably the worst. Worst.
We have the least knowledge of any podcasters that do conspiracy podcasts.
Yeah. Because this is obviously, this is kind of, well, it is a hobby for us, but girl balls, I like you guys. I delve deep into this conspiracy nonsense because I'm the Tyler Strand of chasing the lunacy.
Oh, from Hellier. To Hellier.
Ah, right.
Tyler Strand, right? You know, remember Tyler Strand's like the young one that kind of comes in for the second season.
Right. Okay.
Do you remember?
No.
Like the annoying one. That, like, looks like he does parkour.
Oh, the one who's like really excitable and like
the puppy
almost a bit like a Bear Grylls character. He loves fucking like jumping on shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually quite like that guy.
You like that guy? I thought that guy was one of the most annoying ones. But they are dropping the guys who made Hellier are dropping something soon. But they said it might not be it's possibly not Hellier.
Is it because they found out that like when they watched it back, they were like, "What the fuck were we doing for 3 years?"
Yeah. Well, I think Girlballs or Open Zwee is a big fan of Hellier, judging by the amount of references they make.
I mean, Hellier was definitely got me back into the vibe of things. When you told me to watch it, I was just like, "All right," and then I ended up watching it all in 2 days.
Yeah, I love Hellier, but I also think it was just a good bit of entertainment.
Yeah,
I don't think there's anything. I'm
definitely on board with a lot of the things that they said on there. Like, again, it's all kind of hard to grasp unless you're a very strong believer in like spirituality. And I think that is a very hard like hurdle for a lot of people to cross. I think a lot of people like, so the idea that the moon is a space station is a hard idea for people to cross because maybe we don't. I mean, I'm not pretending I do understand waves, but I definitely do understand. I definitely understand intuition, and I definitely understand that certain things don't seem right, and there's no signal there. There's no subliminal signal. I don't believe, and I think that's the thing with Hellier. It's like a lot of it is esoteric, kind of like ancient beliefs, which like tribalism, which almost seems to have been removed from our society now. We've kind of got a new tribalism, and the new tribalism is celebrity. Like, you know, the fact that people stand up for people they have no connection with at all is almost like people who stand up for God. Yeah. You know, like I had a conversation with somebody about the whole Conor McGregor thing, Machine Gun Kelly, and it's almost like people have made sides with like who they stand. And I'm like, who fucking cares? Like they're both dickheads. Yeah, exactly. Who's fucking bothered? Like, and then like McGregor's like this, all like riled up, like I don't even know the man. And it's just like, well, the rumor is that you went up and asked him for a photograph, so you obviously do, and you're just a bit butthurt that he didn't fucking want to have a photograph with you. And he was like, "Oh, he's been to all my shows. Oh, I've never been to his show. He's been to all my shows." I'm just like, all right, mate, fucking
The
chill
guy's
out.
a knobhead, man.
Yeah.
I did. I was because obviously machine. Those who aren't aware, Machine Gun Kelly used to be a rapper until Eminem dissed him so much he had to change genres to become a pop punker.
But his actual comeback was pretty good. I did enjoy his comeback to the Eminem song. But again, don't fuck around with that guy. Like really, I mean,
Yeah,
he went straight for his daughter, didn't he? Which I was
yeah.
like, what did you fucking expect? Like, why would you even attack? Just again though, I didn't have a fucking clue Machine Gun Kelly was up until
No,
there.
I didn't.
Um,
I didn't.
it was funny actually. Funny thing was, the Asking Alexandria lads had told me that they were doing the Machine Gun Kelly tour just prior to all this happening, and I was
Yeah,
like, well, they didn't. They just put MGK tour, and I was like, what's that? I thought it was like somewhere in fucking Arkansas because they said they were doing it there. I was
yeah.
like, who's that? And they were like, you've never heard of Machine Gun Kelly? I was like, no.
No.
Like, why would I? And then
I'd only heard of him when he did when Eminem dissed him so hard he had to become a pop punk star instead of a rapper.
yeah. I mean, it's the best thing that's ever happened for his career.
Yeah,
Right, let's
him
be
and
honest.
Travis. I mean,
Oh, what a
Travis
sellout.
Barker. Oh, Travis.
What?
We posted it out on the Eat Dirt page a couple of months ago. Saying, just to let you know, we are one of the only bands left not to have collaborated with
Yeah.
Travis Barker. He's pathetic, man.
Yeah.
And he's
I mean,
posting all these pictures of him and like Kourtney Kardashian all over the internet. Like it's like got a photographer who goes and takes pictures of him and his girlfriend. What a fucking
yeah.
nerd!
And
Man.
this is what makes me laugh about these rock stars. Like when I was fucking doing tattoos in the back of my house, I'd be I'd be wearing one glove and using like a bit of cling film on my other hand, and then using a fucking scratchy old tattoo machine from eBay. These guys like just decide they want to do like cheeky little in-house tats, and they've got a full fucking rig of tattoo machines that's like
Yeah.
£2,000 worth of stuff, gloves, all the best things, everything. And it's just like they think they're being so rock and roll, like, oh, tats in the bedroom, oh, tats in the kitchen. Oh, I'm just like, get fucked. Like, you can seriously get fucked. You're like,
Get
you wear,
sepsis.
you're fucking 55 years old and you're wearing a t-shirt that has a fucking anarchy A on it. Like, grow up, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, it's an Anarchy T-shirt made by Prada or something. Like.
Yeah, it's so. I mean, did you see what he's wearing from the not the MMA awards, the VMA awards? He was wearing like just a suit with like spikes in the kneecap, and I was like, nobody ever thought that was ever cool. Like Travis Barker was sold out. Like I used to love that guy, but he is sold out. Like
He's
bless
such a
him, he's
nerd,
fucking.
man.
I know, like. He's that is such a sellout thing to do. And it's almost like, tell you what was strange. Did you watch the interview on the red carpet with Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox?
No.
And Machine Gun Kelly basically,
a shower
she was wearing like a fucking a bride's veil.
Yeah.
Like literally just a bit of fucking whatever it is, like netting,
cloth.
fly netting from the inside of a tent.
No, I didn't see it. What happened?
Machine Gun Kelly refused to talk to the interviewers and stuff, and Megan Fox is like talking for him, and she's just like, she's like, what you wearing? She was like, oh, Daddy made me wear this, and she's like looking at him, and he's just like, he won't make eye contact with the interviewer at all, and then he's like trying to kiss her, like it's so awkward, but it's almost like he's been pulled up on it before, like going back into the conspiracy thing. He's been pulled off about symbolism quite a lot. And he's got, did you see the ring that he was wearing, which was like a little silver hand just coming round there? But apparently that is a big, not a Mason symbol, but it's basically meaning that you're conjoined with a higher being. So there's quite a few things like pictures and stuff where they're doing it. But anyway, there's loads of stuff with them and what he was wearing, and like, oh God, it's just makes me fucking shiver. Because it's almost like when The Craft came out, when the film The Craft came out, and all the girls at school started buying black candles, and they were all doing like fucking like magic rituals, and you're just like, you are aware that Hollywood has very much glamorized this. It's like, it is like weirdos in the woods, like eating mushrooms and fucking like killing animals. It isn't just like holding someone's hand and wishing that your hair was blonde. You fucking idiot.
I'm really interested to see that the symbolism and all that shit. But I guess he's just probably got a stylist that's done all that for him anyway. He's probably not actually into it. He's probably just got a stylist that's well into it and gone, let's see if I can make him wear this.
They've pulled up Machine Gun Kelly loads of times on that kind of stuff. Again, I won't go too far into it. Maybe we should just have a 1 hour episode about Machine Gun Kelly and how much of a knob he is.
He's such a knobhead. I'd wind my mate Charlie up all the time, but I just keep tagging. I just tag him in pictures of Machine Gun Kelly. Go, when did you get that T-shirt? Or when did you go here? He's like, why are you doing this to me? Because you hate Machine Gun Kelly, and this gives me lots of joy.
Keju has just written, people know MK Ultra, but they are not ready for MGK Ultra. That is brilliant. Just MGK being brainwashed Ultra, by shit pop punk music with the same Travis Barker. Because shitty drum beat.
Did you watch that whatever it was, like Countdown to My Downfall, whatever the film that they made that was absolute dog
No.
It was during the lockdown. It was during the first lockdown it came out, I think. And I remember just going, oh my God, what is this? But it just reminded me of that Dyer from Eat Dirt's old band. What was it? Son of Dork. Ticket Out of Loserville. Just like utter drivel, like shit music. Machine Gun Kelly's rap was average. His pop punk is so shit. And he plays that pink guitar. Too cool.
I didn't mind it.
Nah.
Do you know what I do? What does really piss me off, and you'll understand this as some. I mean, you've been playing guitar quite a while now, right? But first thing you can usually see when someone starts playing guitar is the way that they hold their fret hand.
Yeah.
And the way that Machine Gun Kelly holds his fret hand just instantly screams to me that he learned how to play guitar like less than 4 years ago, because he's still got that very rigid, and he only knows it's just a very rigid movement, and it's almost I don't know if I should say this. Yeah, it is very just like it's all about like he's more concerned about making it sound right than he is making it cool, which I understand sounds stupid, but he's very concerned about it. Whereas in like natural guitar players just get on with it, and if they make a fuck up, they make a fuck up, don't they? I think that pisses me off the most about him.
Plays the guitar moderately well, and that annoys me.
Yeah, well, he doesn't though, does he?
Yeah, and what annoys me is that I mean, we're totally off subject now, but I'm sure everyone in the chat loves slagging off MGK. So, and I'm sure he appreciates us talking about him. It keeps him, it gives all power to him. It is, isn't it?
I was going to say, maybe that's it. Maybe these people do these things again. Though this is probably why McGregor does it, is because he's worried people will forget about him. Yeah. He's always talking about legacy, and he's always talking about how much money he's got. But the thing is, all that money still doesn't mean that you have a legacy that continues. You're just another guy who did something. You know,
I think he's fucked that.
You're a daft lad. Do you know what I mean? You're a daft lad from Ireland who like gets punched in the face for a living. Like, you know, and he's like, oh, I'm such a clever guy. I've done all these things. They're like, oh, what? You've released all these companies by yourself, have you? You haven't paid somebody who knows a lot more about them. It's basically just
an investor.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you think it just pisses me off because there's no creatives anymore. It just seems like the people in the limelight just don't even seem to be creatives. The only creative I ever fucking see in the limelight now is Elon Musk. And granted, he's not hand making rockets. You know, we understand
he's
that.
Still coming up with the ideas. He's still throwing stuff out.
Yeah.
He does the maths sometimes, not all the time.
What did McGregor do? Oh, I've come up with another brand of whiskey. Who cares?
Proper 12.
Yeah, Proper 12.
What does that even mean, mate?
Everyone said it tastes like fucking shit anyway. And they're selling Morrison's now.
It's all right.
Yeah, but is it when you say it's all right, is it better than, like, what whiskey are we talking?
It's better than Jameson's, and I like Jameson's.
Well,
it's not as good as, like, it's not a Bushmills kind of. It's not like Bushmills, which is absolutely delicious. It's like the best Irish whiskey.
Yeah, I'm not an Irish whiskey fan, to be fair. So
it just tastes like cheap Irish whiskey. It just tastes like a slightly nicer cheap Irish whiskey. I like it. I like Irish whiskey, and I like cheap whiskey. So,
right. So I don't know if we're still on this chat. I mean, if you need to go, that's fine. But I've just found an article again. Why does every conspiracy theory? in the conspiracy theory community, can somebody please speak to a web designer, like a good web designer, because it'll immediately
just get
make
a Squarespace. Just get a Squarespace.
It'll make us look better. Let's look at this. Look at this shit.
Right, share it with me.
Look at Machine Gun. Right, look at this website. The Illuminati puppet. Like,
yeah.
Where was this?
Right. Firstly, make your pictures constrain proportions on your pictures because it makes them look shit. Look at them. All the pictures are squashed.
Oh god, it's so annoying.
Right, go on then. What does it say?
Ohio rapper Machine Gun Kelly is one of the many current popular artists that have gone full-blown satanic in their music and imagery. His current release and tour is a fittingly named Hotel Diablo.
It's only because he's got one of those stringy stick things that they do at festivals. That's the Diablo.
Yeah, that's it.
it's just that. It's just a hotel where everyone has to do that all the time.
The thing is, though, this is kind of the kid that he reminds. That I'm nothing against that. I used to fucking play with yo-yos. I mean, I still do play with yo-yos, but Diablo was just a bit too far. Like, it wasn't one of them things you could just slip in your backpack and take around and just casually fuck around with.
But people did.
You had to commit. You had to commit to a Diablo, didn't you? You had to have the sticks hanging out your bag, and it wasn't attached to your hand. So one thing is if you were fucking around with it in the garden or in the schoolyard or whatever. Anyway, Machine Gun Kelly joins the ranks of similar artists such as ASAP, Rocky, Fetty Wap, Little Uzi Vert, Triple Red.
Right.
Oh my god.
Can I stop you there? I don't know who any of those people are.
Right.
Oh wait, I know Fetty Wap's got one eye.
Fucking
Barker from Smoking Hearts was obsessed with Fetty Wap.
Fetty Wap. Anyway, in a heavy metal music, it is called black metal. Oh, hang on. Whoa. That have created a whole genre of rap. In heavy metal music, it's called black metal, where you have bands such as Behemoth and Behexen that blatantly promote Satanism.
Blatantly. This is blatant Satanism.
Memgk music is very dark, suicidal, and filled with drug references, and the promotion of drug use, all staples of black metal. He even blends his rapping with rock, which is his staple. He does add in normal braggadocio associated with rap, but his theme is distinctly dark and overly satanic. Anyway, there is a lot of references to the Bible and the devil and numbers. I'm writing this at 5:3666 in the evening in my head, talking to these demons. You're not writing anything, mate. You literally sound like you're about to, post a Tumblr.
That's like the worst line I've ever heard.
Awful. So yeah, again, lots of rams and shit like that. Not a very long article. Very surprised at that. Very short article. Just telling us all that he is a Satanist. I mean,
so
look at that tattoo he's got.
Oh, that is Illuminati.
Are they all hands at the bottom, like cheering at it?
I can't really see.
That is really strange.
But rubbish as well.
But also, that is a strange place because that's probably going to be one of the places where he got his first tattoos. Yeah. And it's a very shit tattoo. There's a conspiracy. Why don't famous people get good tattoos?
Yeah, like footballers is the main one. They've all got shit tattoos. But like rappers, like especially these like rappers with loads of money, they just get dog shit tattoos. But there's that trend now, and I'm not going to name any names because I don't want to get cancelled. But there's that London trend for this
trap house,
dog shit tattoos that have all one line, all like horribly lined, like horribly designed, like. Oh, I'll tell you some names.
Honestly, there's tattooists on the side of the road in Bali that are doing better tattoos than that. And the funny thing is, people are like, yeah, how do you know? These guys have Instagram.
Yeah.
So it's like, they're on the side of the road and they have to do it when they get back home or wherever. But there is like rows and rows of tattooists in Bali on the side of the road doing better tattoos than that.
It's absolute dog shit.
They have zero followers because over there, their culture isn't based around that. Whereas in all these shit tattooists over here, like 120,000 followers, and they literally take line drawings from clip art and off Google and literally print it out and stick it straight on. Yeah.
They even look
so
pixelated.
bad. Yeah.
Like when people,
It's just become super trendy, hasn't it? It's like,
but it's like I'd prefer tribal looks better than that shit.
I mean, I'd get tribal any day over a lot of shit that I'm seeing these days.
Yeah.
Like,
there's only like a few tattoo artists that I actually like now because they've just all changed their style to kind of match what's trendy.
Yeah,
and
it's difficult. Like again, not talking. I used to be wrapped up in this kind of shit, but it really doesn't bother me anymore. But like,
talking about MGK Ultra,
yeah, too busy listening to Fatty Wap or whatever he's called. One-eyed Fatty Wap. Yeah, at one point, like I was like losing followers just because I wasn't keeping up with what everyone else was doing, and my followers have like halved in the last like 6 years.
Yeah.
And then there's like kids who have literally just started an Instagram and they've got like 200,000 followers, and all they do is like line drawings of manga faces. I'm just like, what the fuck? But again, who cares? I'm an old man now. I never thought at 35 I would be the old man that I used to rave about on tattoo forums and stuff. But right, we've probably got like. Are you ready to wrap this up, Ben?
I could do a bit longer if you want. If you've got some extra more things in there.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff about the Green Man cult, which I'm presuming is a lot to do with the Hellier stuff.
Yeah. Well, I'm as you know, I've got Pan tattooed there after watching Hellier.
Yeah.
Which I held out on you guys in the episode because it would be fun to drop it. But yeah, I mean, the Green Man cult, which is Pan, I guess.
But I remember this being a prevalent thing from when I was like growing up, like the whole Green Man, because
they're on every like building and shit.
And a lot of the stuff,
someone would have carved it into a tree and
it's crazy. And there was a lot of, I mean, I don't know whoever's in the chat or on the Discord, whoever's listening. Like, I'm like 34, so when like punk and metal and goth music was coming out when I was a kid. So like, I mean, I got into it when I was about 11 or 12. Every goth shop that I ever went in had a pan on the wall. Like it was a pan and then like a pentagram ashtray and then like a dragon holding a crystal and fucking shit like that. And then they sell piercing shit. So pan's always been and I mean, you go to like Whitby, like I've been to Whitby Goth Festival like handfuls of times, and there's pan fucking symbology everywhere. Yeah. But I think did we come to the idea that it is just a representation of the spirit of Earth? Is that what we kind of?
Yeah, it's like almost like have you seen
Mother
Moana?
Nature? Yes.
Tafiti would be the Green Man I had.
Tafiti was the woman who got angry, right, when he got her heart stolen.
Yeah.
I love that film. I've seen it like 3 times. And I never used to like Disney films.
25 plus times, 30 times, maybe 40, maybe 100 times. But yeah, I'd say Pan would be that he's basically the Earth god, like, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, my mum was talking about Pan because my mum's well into all that spiritual shit. She's a medium.
Nice. I knew this, didn't I? Yeah, I was going to say this.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But yeah, she was like, when I was talking about Pan, she's like, oh, I love Pan. He's amazing. He's the Earth god. I was like, I think he might be a bit of a trickster. If you'd watched Hellier, Mum, and I tried to get to watch Hellier, but she gave up. I don't know why.
Yeah. She was probably like, these guys slandering my god. Fuck you guys.
Yeah, well, Pan doesn't come into like the last 2-3 episodes, right?
Yeah, it's almost where they're clutching at straws a little bit. They're just like, what can we... Pan, yeah.
Aleister Crowley obviously comes in. Does he come in, or does he not talk about Aleister Crowley till the next?
They talk about him quite a bit, don't they? I mean, it's...
Crowley!
I'm just... this is pretty interesting. Mr. Crowley.
Mr. Crowley.
Girl Balls has said, it's such a weird thing, Hollywood. These clowns throwing up Masonic symbols for their Jesuit puppet masters. Am I saying Jesuit right? Jesuit is.
You are saying Jesuit right.
Yeah. Being empty vessels. I mean, the symbolism itself of working in Hollywood, I think is enough, isn't it? I don't think these people have to go and be like, praise our God, Satan, or whatever. I think the idea that you are working in the music industry is almost like, I mean, I didn't get as far as Ben in the like, as I would say, in the music industry as far, which is like, but even working with people who I've worked with, I understand how the fucking how it works. Like,
it's just no point.
it's just awful. And for any budding musicians,
Don't.
I mean, yeah, just don't even bother wasting your time.
I actually just quickly go off the tangent. So one of the executives at Spotify called musicians entitled because they wanted 1 cent per stream. Like, no, you're stealing from us. But you've monopolized it, so we have to use your platform. You've made it so important. Like, you've made it the only place people can listen to music, apart from Apple Music, which is slightly better and they give you more money. But you've made it so like hard for us to do it without you, and now you've got kind of control over us, the same as the record labels did. You just the next step. Anyway, moving back, I'd say because it was just like was it Gelball said about the symbolism and using this symbolism. It's just because it looks cool, man. That's why they do it. Like Black Sabbath did it first because it looked cool. Like if you've ever spoken to Black Sabbath or listened to Black Sabbath talk, they're not into the devil or Satanism or anything. They just like wearing black and cool symbols.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird one because it's one of them things that you would think if it had stopped being trendy to do that kind of thing, you would think that it would just somebody would just out it like straight away, just like it is, because like for instance, like when Marilyn Manson was a thing, like let's say like 2000s, early 2000s or late 90s, it was all the news articles were like Marilyn Manson, sex fucking pest, Marilyn Manson, like all these articles like years ago. And all the fans were like, nah, it's just him expressing his like, his emotions and feelings. And then there was little talk about hedonism, like hedonism, like just got brushed under the carpet. It was like, that was just too much for teenagers to think about. Whereas in now, completely cancelled because he is a bit rapey and he is a bit like manipulating. Well, a bit like very by the sounds of things. Yeah. But his fans are still standing up. His fans are still standing up for him, like right now. So I mean, you've got to imagine the amount of corruption within that industry. Like Drake is just named Marilyn Manson one of the greatest voices of our generation, and I'm just like, all right. And now he's in a music video with him.
Yeah, like, and also Drake is probably the most rapey person since Marilyn Manson.
Yeah, it's a strange one. I mean,
yeah. Well, I think that's the real conspiracy in the music industry, not the occult symbolism and all that. It's the amount of fucking child molesters and rapists there are that just get away with it.
Yeah,
that's the real conspiracy. When it comes down, like, I'd love it to be about the occult and devil worshipping, but what it comes down to really with most conspiracies is child fucking.
I mean, we're talking about the artist directly, so I probably do think that these people believe they are connected to a higher being spiritually that is a bit darker, but what they actually don't realize is that their management and their management's management are probably doing the really, really dark stuff. Yeah. And you only really get introduced to that once you start giving yourself to. It's a pyramid scheme. Let's be honest. Like the music industry is just a giant pyramid scheme, and it basically doesn't benefit the people at the bottom. It's just a trickle down of shit, and you have to. And it's almost getting bigger. I think that's the worst part about it. There's more musicians. There's more people wanting to do it because of the way we treat celebrities. Yeah. Like people don't want to be in bands anymore because they just want to get in a room with their mates and fucking like boxing. They don't want to, it's not there anymore. It's everyone's talking about the t-shirts we're getting printed and the special things we're going to have to do at gigs to make ourselves noticed. Like I talk about it in my new band, like Fizzy Milk, but we all we listen to fucking weird bands that are like literally just fucking mental, but we aren't mental. So we're looking for things to do that are like, and I'm just like, let's just go fucking play a punk show and just see how it goes. Like, and that's the best thing to do. Yeah, because someone's going to fuck us somewhere.
The gimmick is taken over with the music industry. Like, look at bands like Creeper and stuff like that. Like, they're just a gimmick now. Like, as much as like I used to tour with those guys when they were in our time down here, and they were nobodies, and they never got anywhere, and they just wish they could. And then they did this Creeper thing, and it just hit that bell, and like people wanted it because it was gimmicky. People want something they can latch onto. They want an identity. That's what it is. People
Well, that's
want,
it.
like,
Yeah, it's a pantomime, isn't it?
Yeah, they want an identity that then they can say, I'm a Creeper fan. I do this. I'm the worst band I've ever heard. Wargasm. I like Wargasm, so I just like this fucking like an idiot. You know, like hardcore. I'm a hardcore kid. Like that's an identity you can get behind with it.
It's all gone. It's lost now, though, isn't it? I mean, hopefully we'll go full circle and go back to the raw. And hopefully this is what's going to do it, this pandemic, because venues everywhere have closed. Like all the big money venues are closed. The little venues are starting to get back on their feet, and they're starting to realize that the thing that they cared about was getting people through the doors, not the money on the door. Like you know, like there's plenty of little venues in York that have just reopened, and everyone's like, all right, what the fuck's going on here? And they're doing free gigs, and everyone's like, right,
free gigs is the way, man. And if and I think it's a bit big-headed to expect to get paid for a gig anywhere at anything. I think you should be doing music for the love of playing music. And I know this is completely off topic and not conspiracy at all, but yeah, I
think so. I think it is.
I've always tried to avoid gimmicks.
I'm gonna go for a piss. I can hear you.
Well, this is good. I was gonna wrap, but I always tried to avoid doing gimmicks in bands. I always just tried to do it just straight up punk bands, doing it for what it is. And that's probably why we never really made it. But yeah, I think JJ's gonna have a wee, and then I can't see the chat. Let me just get it up. Is there any more questions before we call it a day today on the stream? Let me just try and get this chat up whilst asking you that question. By the time I get it up, you should have caught up. Let's have a look.
It's all right. I'm back.
Yeah. Gimmicks suck, man.
Do you know, I went on, I know what we're still talking about, but I went on tour with a band called Necrogoblicon, and they absolutely nailed it because they're like, I'm sure they won't mind me saying this about them, but very like introvert, kind of nerdy guys, which I loved. Like we got along with them at House on Fire. And then it was almost like the Goblin had made them become rock stars. And it was quite fun. It was quite good to see. I mean, they had a song called We Need a Gimmick. And they did a parody of like rap videos and like metal videos, which I thought was brilliant. And it was almost like that thing elevated them guys, not just the band, but elevated those guys to do what they needed to do in life. Do you know what I mean? Which I think is great. But you know that those guys will probably go under the radar if they don't have that Goblin now, because they've defined themselves as the Goblin band.
Yeah.
And the guy doesn't do anything. It's just a guy in a fucking goblin suit. Even
like
the goblet. Yeah.
Goblin bears.
It's fucking brilliant. But
Mick, you're in Glasgow, are you?
I've just been in Glasgow at the weekend.
Yeah. So
South side, baby. Langside.
Mick's DMF. You should go, and this weekend at I think it's I'm gonna look it up right now, but I'm gonna tell you this now because you should definitely go. Split Knuckle and Raiden from both bands from Essex are going.
Are they still going?
Raiden, yeah. Baz's business partner for Hellfire Creative, the singer.
Oh right, yeah. Fucking hell! I saw that. I saw that thing that you did.
They're playing Leeds on Friday. This Friday. Yeah, you should go.
I'm doing an escape room.
All night.
Well, it
depends.
Probably.
It could be.
It
could be weeks.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be drinking this juice probably till Friday, so I'm not even drinking. It's for someone's birthday.
Yeah, that's a shame. You go and see Raiden and Split Knuckle. But Mick, if you're still listening, go and see Raiden and Split Knuckle. They are playing playing Boom on Friday. They are playing last week's demonstration help out not without enemies. Audio Lounge in Glasgow on.
Is it Audio
Lounge?
Oh right, that I think that's upstairs in the garage.
I think it's a like a rehearsal room.
Maybe not then. Maybe not.
It's Glasgow Audio Lounge, and then I mean, if anyone's interested, they're playing Birmingham Mothers Studio as well in Birmingham on Sunday. But yeah, that's as you've mentioned during Glasgow. You should go to that gig. It would be really fun for you, and you could go up and tell Baz, the singer in Raiden, that you love not another conspiracy podcast. Use the code NAC and maybe we'll give you money off merch.
Yeah, I've heard it's 95%, which is
Yeah, just say Ben said if I use the code NAC, I'll get a free t-shirt.
yeah, and it's just saving them taking the 95% to the record label, which is usually where they go.
Yeah. But yeah, our next episode has been recorded on Monday. Should we tell people who are listening? How many people? 7 people are in the chat. Dean,
I like the people who are not talking. Those are my favorite people. They're just
I like lurkers.
taking notes.
Taking notes, just getting ready to cancel us.
No, it's probably, again, if it's one of them conspiracies. I don't think we should say it, but it's one of them. If you didn't know about it and then you find out about it, it's like, wow. I think it's one that not a lot of people have a concept about what happened. So I think it's
yeah. So we're going to be doing the Titanic, guys.
Oh well, I was just going to give a little hint.
Nah, tell them. It's only 6 people in there now.
Yeah, but Chinese whispers. I mean, Girl Balls is just pointing out about the Asian boy band market.
We should do that. We should be in an Asian boy band. Have you seen, before we go, People Just Do Nothing film?
Not yet, no. Which
amazing.
Is annoying. But I have watched the Matrix trailer about 50 times.
Yeah, that's going to be good, I think. That is going to be good. I like the fact that they're ignoring the second 2 films.
No.
They're not.
Yeah, no, a lot of people have brought this down. So, again, can't go too far into it because it fucking blags my mind. But the concept of the Matrix is not really changed until the final film. Yeah. So the Matrix version that is there is still the Matrix version.
Yeah.
So the idea that the Merovingian's in the new film.
Okay.
And he's in the second Matrix film. So that concept, that idea that it's going to ignore the second 2 films.
It happens after the first. Happens after the first 2 films.
Well, no, they're saying this, but there is an idea that Neo was reinserted into the Matrix.
Yeah.
After the first film, but there's been loads of people break it down. In fact, there's one called I think it's called Red Hot Spoilers. It's a spoiler, so I wouldn't watch it, but I have. It's
but he doesn't know, does he?
There's a script. There's a leaked script. So I mean, it's a very good idea. But the fact that the first film, the second 2 films are canon or whatever isn't a thing. Like that was it was just thrown around. But again, the second and third film weren't terrible. Like I don't understand.
I watched the second one recently, and it is really good up until the end.
I thought the third one was the worst.
The third one is the worst. I've not even watched that one back.
So the third one can't have been written off because there's a part in the trailer where it shows Neo getting reinserted by the robots and he's got no eyes. His eyes are burnt off.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And that happened in the third one. So, I mean, the idea that the third one's not, because I heard that they were rewriting the second and third, but that just wouldn't make any sense at all. But have you seen the inception of what's happening with so there's a theory that he works for a computer game company. So he's a coder for a computer game company. And the computer game is for like an anthology of games, which is basically The Matrix. And it's based on the films, The Matrix. So he's almost living inside a world where he is like a reflection of like art imitating life. Yeah. So there's a part in the trailer where there's the Matrix film being projected onto a screen, but he's in the scene as well. So it's like, somebody's in the scene that's in the film. So he's seeing, but apparently the reason why he's taking the pills is because he keeps getting flashbacks of an alternative life, which is the Matrix.
Oh.
And there's a theory that it's more to do with self-projection. So obviously the sisters who made it are both transgender. So they say that the previous films were based on that, but they've obviously in this one, they're trying to reiterate it further. Very much like the Candyman film, like didn't need to be remade, but trying to reiterate further about the Black Lives like everything that's going on at the moment.
Mm.
But apparently, Lana Wachowski, is it Wachowski?
Yeah.
It's a reflection. Lana, yeah, it's a reflection on how we see ourselves.
Yeah.
So it's almost like anybody can be Neo, very much like the Star Wars, the end of Star Wars, where that little kid grabs the broom and he looks up at the sky, and it's like anybody can be a Jedi. You know, like it's almost like that. That very much like uplifting, like we can, you know, anybody can be what they want to be. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, great. Okay. Well, on that bombshell,
I'm Neo.
I'm Neo. I am Neo. I am Spartacus. On that bombshell, I think that's the end of Not Another Conspiracy Stream.
Yeah.
But we might do on Monday because Dean's probably going to be late.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm going away with my mother
on the Tuesday.
The day after, so I can just probably drink some juice and
juicing. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll let you know in the chat in the Discord. But yeah, we'll be recording the next episode on Monday. We might do a stream, we might not. The usual socks, cheap, NAC, ogsocks.co.uk, is it?
.co.uk, yeah, ogsocks.co.uk. Yeah, thanks for everybody listening. And thanks for all the kind words as well. Like usually with these YouTube things, you just get bombarded with insults and shit.
No,
we've got zero insults and zero shit so far. So if anybody wants to throw an insult in there right now, just
before we log off, do you want to insult one or both of us? I'm waiting. I'm waiting for an insult. No, just silence while we.
I hope somebody points out how messy my clothes look on that hanger, because it's been annoying me for ages. I just can't be bothered doing anything about it.
You need to get a wardrobe, mate.
I've got a wardrobe. I just want to put clothes in it. Just put empty boxes.
No one is insulting us.
No, it's your free shot. Okay.
And no one took it. Well, thank you for listening, everyone. See you on the flip flop. Let me just. How do I turn this off?
Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself.
It's also going to be like 30 seconds of me trying to disconnect the live